This is Opinion City, where pro wrestling gets the conversation it deserves. Real voices, real opinions, live every Sunday.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are ready to roll. It is a brand new episode, the Opinion City Podcast. I'm King Ralph. He's Parmesan.
Yo!
Sean, what is going on, buddy?
Nothing much. Another Sunday, another episode, and I'm excited for this week's episode.
All right, who are we talking to, and what is our top five? Because I know we're gonna be excited for that one too.
Yeah, excited for this one.
Yeah,
talking to the Rockstar Alex Monroe, and we've decided to do his top 5 cheat foods.
Top 5 cheat foods.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into that, we want to thank the sponsor of the Opinion City ticker, our good friend Jim Murray, who has written The Chase, a wrestling story. It is a fantastic tale of the territory days and following a wrestler as he makes his way through the territories and through the ups and downs of wrestling. You can scan the QR code on the screen to get your copy. The link is also down in the description below. So we want to thank Jim Murray, who is right up there as far as people who have appeared on this channel the most.
A lot.
I think he's just behind me and Sean. So definitely check that out, and we want to thank him again for sponsoring the Opinion City ticker. All right, well, let's get into it. Let's bring him in. It is the Rockstar himself, Alex Monroe. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, guys. Thank you for having me on your show. This is truly wonderful. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're super excited, man. This is
awesome.
This is very cool. Now, as you were mentioning off air, you were a veteran, as it is, of doing podcasts.
Yes.
So
Yes.
hope,
Yeah, I've done quite a few. Not too many, but quite a few.
all right. Well, we're hoping this one ranks up there as far as your podcast experiences. So let's kind of start at the beginning here and tell us, in your own words, who is Alex Monroe?
Yeah.
Well, as it says, I am a rock star. You know, rock music really has influenced my character throughout quite a few years of my life. Like, if anybody knows, I'm into like all the glam metal bands and all the 80s stuff and the explosions, and like, what better way to pursue that with wrestling than, you know, rock and roll music. You know, like, rock and roll music is very theatrical and it's very you know, very stage like, so why not bring that to wrestling, you know, rock and wrestling. And that's kind of where, but I also blend in a lot of stuff. So like, a lot of the stuff you see is from a lot of different bands. Like, some of my pants is like from like designs by like Motley Crue and you know, all sorts of, like, I'm telling you, all sorts of different ideas from many different bands, and that's kind of who I am. And I also kind of live like a rock star. I'm on the road all the time. I'm just blasting music all day long. There's not a minute in my day there's not rock music that goes on, and that's either in the gym, in my car, at just anywhere I go. And I'm what we call like a couch guy. Like, I'm always hopping from couches to couch.
Right.
You know, just living that rock star dream. You know.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Now, you've trained under the likes of Ricky Morton, Crazy Steve, Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Yeah,
three very different styles. What did each of them drill into you?
So for me, you know, Ricky Morton is very old school. Like, he teaches the fundamentals of like really how wrestling works with psychology and storytelling, and, you know, not really what you do, it's how we do what we do. So like, not only does inside the ring matters, but what we say outside the ring matters, how we carry ourselves matter. And that's what Ricky Morton brings. Then with Crazy Steve, kind of the same way, but more modern. And he kind of like develops us to like say, hey, this is how it works now, you know, with like, this is television now, this is kind of how we do things today. Yeah, we kind of try and keep the mystique of professional wrestling, but it, you know, it's more modern. And he's also very hands-on, where Ricky Morton was too, but you know, in his days, there's only so much, like he says, there's only so much I can teach you.
Right.
Like with Crazy Steve, he was very hands-on, and like, if you didn't understand and you picked his brain enough, he really kind of dived down to what you were really trying to do. And Dr. Tom, also very old school like Ricky, but he was more the promo guy. Where not only was the in-ring work there, but he was more promos. Like, He says,
Mm.
like I was telling with Ricky, with Ricky, it's not always what you do in the ring, it's also outside. So
Hmm.
that's kind of more of what Dr. Tom pushed, was a lot of from like, watch these guys, see how they reel people in, see how they push people out. Like it was a roller coaster of emotions in just 1 minute. And we had to do that. Like, they always tell us like modern days TikTok videos are 15 seconds. Well,
Right.
like a promo, you got to draw us in that time. And so,
Hmm.
and it really opens up your mind on like the perception of like, hey, it takes 3 seconds for somebody to get interested. It really, and it kind of like really blows your mind that wow, even a promo is just as important as wrestling is. And like really with all three of them, it was the same message but different ways. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I want to focus on Ricky Morton for a
Mhm.
minute, a Hall of Famer, half of the Rock and Roll Express. So, he had a very unique style of being the guy who kind of takes the beating and really makes the crowd care, makes the crowd get
Mhm.
invested in him. Is there maybe a lesson that he passed down to you about being that guy that kind of gets that crowd to care?
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing Ricky Morton teaches is 3 words: do not die. That's the three biggest
Okay,
things Ricky.
that's
Wow.
So
fair.
like,
That's fair.
mostly like when somebody takes a punch, they just want to lay there, and he's like, no, that's
Right.
not what you do, man. Like, we're
Mm.
not saying you can't sell it, we're not saying you can't hurt, but like if you sit there like a dead fish, like nobody's gonna care.
Right.
If you have
Yeah.
people emotionally invested in you, like if you show people like, man, this guy's really beating the crap out of it, this guy's really beating me up, and people are like, man, we want to see this guy win. Like, we hate that guy, but we want to see this guy win. It not only is the moves you do storytelling, but the selling is storytelling. All of that, all like even facial express, all of it is all storytelling. So like that was the biggest thing that I take away from that, is like, just don't die. Like, don't just because another big thing is don't look up or don't look down, because the camera's not there and nobody can see you. So
Right.
like
Right.
everybody has to see you, and like if you show your facial expressions, like even in the person in the front row, they're gonna believe you more than anybody up at the nosebleeds will.
Mm.
So if you can get a person in the front row to believe you, you can get anybody to believe you, and that's a big thing I feel also today is really missing in professional wrestling.
Hmm.
Mm.
Now, what's maybe a habit or piece of ring psychology from training that you still maybe catch yourself doing without even thinking about it, really?
Oh man, and that's that you can really kind of narrow down, but really, I think mine would probably still have to be, which is very difficult for anybody, would still probably have to be knowing your time.
Hmm.
Because like you can always feel like you're in there short, and you go back and it's like, oh, you went like a minute over, or oh, you went like
Right.
2 minutes,
Mm.
stuff like that. So like really getting that down is kind of the hard part. But man, there's always lots of nitpicky things you can like. There's also times where there's like, hey guys, you got to slow down, and there are times I probably go super slow that people can kind of, I don't know, see it. Um, which, and again, you always want people to register what goes on. And then there are sometimes I go way too fast and need to slow myself down. So there's always little nitpicky things I could always pick, but I really think pacing is probably more where I'm at.
Mm.
But I always try not to do too much anyway. you know.
Sure.
But yeah, that's probably one thing I could pick is pacing.
Very cool. So one of the things that we notice, going to indie promotions and talking to indie wrestlers, you know the seminars that you get involved in are
Right.
always really important. And you've had some big name seminars: Chase Owens,
Mhm.
Joey Ryan, Jimmy Valiant, Kid Cash, Vampiro,
Mhm.
just to
Mhm.
name a few. So maybe is there one lesson from these seminars that maybe stuck with you in a way that you didn't expect, or something that kind of comes back to you from time to time?
Oh, always. Never. It's always something Ricky Morton has said, but it's always a kind of a message in everybody is never be afraid to be afraid. Like pick something that you really want to be and just do it. Because
Hmm. Hmm.
like somebody asked when we were at Vampiro, they're like, hey, when I do face paint or I do this or I do that, somebody's like, well, this person did it, you're just copying that person or copying this person or that
Right.
person.
Right.
And you're like, how do you differentiate from those people? And so what, as a rock person myself, he was like, okay, well, what's the difference between a band like Metallica or Kiss? One wears makeup and one doesn't. They both kind of
Right.
play the same,
Right.
but one plays like Metallica, one plays like Kiss. So really, you can do the same different thing of wrestling, but make it your own. Like, just make it you. It's always weird because nowadays you just go, people's like, oh, I want to do a move like AJ Styles, or I want to do a move like The Undertaker. Is like, don't do those moves, do your moves. Like,
Right. Right.
you can do a tombstone or something, but make it yours. Because, and I say that because, like, even with Crazy Steve or anybody, they always bring up the chop. When you chop somebody, what do they say? Woo! And that's
Right.
Ric Flair's
Right.
thing. So how can you make stuff like that yours? And that kind of sits with me because it's like, you know, character development is a big thing that's preached in professional wrestling, and it's
Right.
always like, man, what do you do, because everything's been done,
Mhm.
like. And that's the thing that's hard too. It's like narrowing down what you want to be and really just be yourself. Like, find something you like and just do it. That's
Absolutely.
you can't take the risk without knowing the reward. So,
Yeah.
like, how are you really going to know what works if you don't do it?
Sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you're out of Music City, Nashville. How much has that
Oh,
city and its scene shaped you, who you are as a performer? Oh, I
I'm
think
sorry, we cut out. Can you repeat the question?
you also are no longer on the screen.
Oh, really? Oh,
You are a
well,
yes.
yeah,
black
we cut
screen.
out for a second. Oh,
Well, you're officially on the Opinion City podcast when you have a technical difficulty.
it's okay.
That is a staple of our show.
No, it's
All
okay.
Well,
right, so
if you can still hear me, I did
yeah.
ask that you're out of Music City, Nashville, and how much has that city and its scene shaped you, who you are as a performer?
I think it shaped me a lot because there's always, like, when you walk down the strips of Nashville, there's always different styles. Like, when you go, it's mostly country music that people think of. But, like,
Mhm.
really, when you go, it's jazz music, it's blues music, it's rock music, it's pop music, it's any style of music that blends into that big city. And to me, like, like I say, I bring in the rock and roll music, but it's not just rock music. I bring everything from this band or that. Like, it's all different styles of bands that I bring in, and it's the same way with Nashville. Nashville doesn't have just one identity; it has many, and I think
Mm.
in a way that's what I present too. Like, I don't have just one; I have many. You can see me do this, and oh, these guys do that, or oh, this guy does that. So it's not just one person; it's many people, and that's, to me, how I feel Nashville is shaped. It's not just one brand of music. It's all different kinds of music that you find there. And
Absolutely.
like any nook and cranny, there's always something different.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to try and step out real quick and come back in? Maybe we can get your camera back on.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Well, while we are waiting for our guest Alex Monroe to try and get himself back into the show, we will pause here for a moment. This is probably a good time to mention our other sponsor.
Yes.
Boom. It is Jersey Rebel Clothing. They have been a sponsor of ours for quite some time now.
Yes, they have.
We appreciate their sponsorship. Every day the world tells you to fit in, dress this way, act this way, think this way. But what if being different is your greatest strength? Jersey Rebel Clothing was created for the dreamers, the creators, the fighters, and the people bold enough to be themselves. Inspired by the resilience and attitude of New Jersey, which Sean knows something about, and I do
A
as
little
well,
bit.
our apparel represents a simple belief: choose authenticity over conformity. Whether you're chasing your dreams, building your legacy, or simply refusing to follow the crowd, Jersey Rebel Clothing is made for you. Visit jerseyrebelclothing.com and shop our latest collection today, because being yourself isn't a trend, it's a revolution. Jersey Rebel Clothing. To be free is to be rebellious. Join the rebellion. Again, shop at jerseyrebelclothing.com. All right. Well, it looks like we have our guest back. Hey, there he
All
is.
right, here we are.
We're
All right.
back online.
Yeah, here we
Woo!
are.
We are killing it. All right. So I wanted to ask, because we were talking a little bit about Music City, Nashville, where you're located. Now, are you or ever have you ever been a fan of country music? Because I imagine living in a city like that is rough.
Not at
with
all.
all the
Never,
Same,
really,
same.
never really been a country music guy. Like I'm always diverse with what I listen to. It's not just rock. I listen to all sorts of stuff, but country
Sure.
music, I just can't. I can't. I
I'm with
try,
you, man.
but
I'm with you, man.
yeah, I try, but no,
Yeah.
that's a big
No, I
no-no for me.
gotcha.
It's a big no-no.
Well, I'm fully with you on that.
Mm.
The wife and I argue about that all the time because I'm just not a country guy. I can't
Oh,
do it.
me
There's no
either.
way.
Me
I
either.
don't know. It's just I don't understand it. I mean, it's pretty much just to me it's pretty much just complaining about everything that you can find to
Right.
complain
Right.
about, and then
Yeah.
you're just like, well, this happened or this happened, and I guess I'll just sing about it for a while, and maybe somebody will care. I don't know. My wife would
And
kill
what's
me
one
right
way
now.
we can fix it? Let's drink us a cold beer.
Right, right.
Well, okay. See, now we're talking here. They got something right at least,
That's about it. That's all they got going for
pretty much.
them.
Now,
All right.
being 10 years in the business, what stops, from
Mhm.
Florida to Wisconsin and time around talent from OVW, ROH, TNA, WWE, what's the biggest way you've seen yourself change since year one?
Oh man, there's many. Starting out, you kind of get your feet wet with things. You kind of get your
Mm.
your base kind of set, and not only that, but like you're also kind of like not familiar with traveling yet. So like for my first few years, I didn't really travel a lot, and then I think about maybe year 4 or 5, I started traveling, and just learning from who I could, when I could, how I could.
Mm.
And,
Yeah.
and even still today, it's kind of the same way. But, you know, I always, with anybody I do tryouts with or anything like that, there's always a lot of things I can take from. And a lot of them really tell me, like, having the people I trained with are very good accolades. And even having different styles from all different people that I've trained with, they're like, that is also good because you're not picking one person's style, you're blending all of it. And
Right,
Mhm.
so,
right,
you're finding your own. And that's really a big thing I can take. Like, even when I did stuff with like Doug Basham and Vampiro, they're like, man, like, it's all there. Like, it's all there. But it's just more timing wise, it's
right,
more timing wise because, like, I see a lot of my friends, they're going on TV, and that's great. But then, really when they do that, because even when I did the Basham thing for OVW, you really don't know the perceptive of like what it's really like to be on television.
Mhm.
Like when we did his, he really explained. He was like, okay, what we're gonna do is like a tryout match is 3 minutes long, and he was like, if you actually did it on television, that's like a lot of money. Whether it's a regular match, that's a lot of
right,
money. So he really put into
Mhm.
like, okay, if you guys, since you guys want to be on TV, this is how it really, really works, and you have to stick to your times. You have to stick to, even Crazy Steve's the same way. He's like, this is how it works, and so like until you really kind of start doing that stuff, it kind of really reels in like, man, like, am I really ready for that kind of stuff or what? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's very, so like, even if I go and I don't make it or even get, that chance, it's still so much to learn. And there's still so much you can take and carry with you, even with traveling.
right.
So
Now,
whether I make it, to those heights or not, I still have the
Mhm.
knowledge of what it takes to get there.
absolutely. Now, real quick, because I was just thinking about it,
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
uh,
absolutely.
I remember a couple years back, Crazy Steve
Mhm.
had announced that he basically wrestles blind.
Yes.
So, how is that? So how is training under him, knowing that? Like, does that sort of like shock you that like he can still train you even though like he's like I said legally blind in the ring? Like,
Actually, to be quite honest, yes and no.
Mhm.
Because like the way he explains it, he was like, when I wrestle, he's like, when I hit the ropes, I can't see the ropes. But like, like with anybody that does wrestling, they say it's like melted in your. It's almost like a second language. Like you just know
mm-hmm.
it. And so, I'm not gonna lie. When I first met him, I had no clue he was blind. I had no clue. I just thought he had because if anybody has met Steve, he does have a lazy eye in one of his eyes. So I was like,
Right,
okay, maybe he just has. I didn't know. And then his
Sure.
wife, bless her soul, such a nice lady. She's like, no, he's really blind. And I was like, oh, I had no clue. And
right,
Yeah.
even sometimes when I travel with Steve, the little that I do, I still forget that he's blind.
Right.
But really, when he wrestles and when he trains, it's actually hard to notice that he is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that's to show how good he really, like, he can do
Mhm.
all these things that anybody else does, but he's just blind. He just can't see. So, like, he's like, yeah, I can, do a dive, but I can't catch anybody doing one because I
Right.
can't see them.
Right. Right.
But like, I mean, still, even when he trains and when you wrestle him or anything, it's like you can't tell. He's that good. You
Wow.
just can't tell.
Yeah.
But of course, when you drive with him and we pull somewhere and he's like, I can't read the menu or I can't this, I can't that. I was like, well, I keep forgetting his blind stuff. But yeah,
Right.
that's how good he really is. Like when you train with him and you wrestle him and all, you can't tell. You can't tell. That's how good he is.
Wow.
Hmm.
So you told us a little bit earlier, kind of about how the rock star part of your, character came about, and you're really kind of built on old school brawling, crowd engagement, those kinds of
Hmm.
things. So, talk a little bit about maybe the development process of putting together the character in the beginning, and maybe how it's evolved today.
So really, like when I first started, it kind of like I was mentioning, in the very beginning, like nobody knows what they want to be. So I was like, man,
Right.
I really don't know what I want to do. I go back to, as I said, this has been done or that's been done, or well, I wanted to do that, but oh, that's not going to do it in this crowd or that crowd. So really I was like, okay, let me kind of sit down and let me figure out what I feel like people will like and what I think works. And so I was like, if wrestling is a lot of, as we say, theatrics, and it's a lot of crowd engagement. I
Right.
really sat down and I was like, what's one thing that does that the biggest and the loudest is concert rock music. And so like that really kind of sat with me and I was like, okay, so how can I use that to not only do with wrestling but engage with crowd people? So like the
Right.
second I'm out of those curtains, man, it's like a rock concert. I'm energy is way up here and
Mhm.
it's nonstop. Like I don't stop talking. I don't stop, whether it's babyface or heel, like that. But that's, with rock music, like they don't stop until the show's done. And even when the show's done, walking to and back the curtain, I'm always just talking. And,
Yeah.
and that, and that kind of how it evolves over the years is like I watch different bands and I kind of see like, okay, what do these guys do that probably didn't work for these guys but works for this? And
Mhm.
so like you really have to sit down and kind of, because back in the day they're like you lived your character, like you had
Right.
to live it. So like
Absolutely.
I, in the same sense, I'm kind of the same way. They say study. So I study. I was like, okay, well these guys did this and it works here. But if
Mhm.
I do it here, it may not work. But if I do this, it may work. You know what I'm saying? So like you
Right.
always have to pick and choose what you really want to do, where you want to do it. And to me, that's how I feel like I've evolved. Like I can go anywhere and they're like, hey man, we need you to do this and this and this. I'm like, on it. And it works. I don't really have to second guess a lot of, well, is it going to work here? Or how's the crowd going to be here? Like when I go and they feel it, you feel it. Like, so for me, it's always too, like, however the crowd feels, that's how I'm going to feel. So if I get them up here and they're up here, that's even how I wrestle. Like, it's going to be nonstop from there.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of how it, because when you first start out, you're going to be, you don't know what the people are going to like or don't like,
Right.
that you always, like, even if it's somewhere new, they always tell you, like, how are you going to have these people remember you and like you? So,
Right.
Mhm.
like, for me, it's always, you just have to engage them. Like, and that's my biggest thing is I feel like I can't wrestle if I don't engage. Like because
Mhm.
that's really what you're wrestling for is for the people.
Right.
So
Mhm.
like like with rock music, that's the same thing. You perform for the people. So what are you gonna do that people are going to remember and be like, wow, that guy did that. And so if
Mhm.
they see me in the next town, hey, we remember you when you did this and you did that. Like that's kind of how I see it.
Now,
So
speaking of, oh, sorry, Rob, go ahead.
no. So I wanted to ask, being the rock star, and I know this is a loaded
Mhm.
question because some people either have like a real easy answer or they're like, oh, I don't know. But does the rock star have a favorite band?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Um, Kiss is my all-time favorite band, all time.
Okay.
Yeah. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
favorite. Like I remember when I was growing up, my dad was introducing me to all this music, and I just see these
Mhm.
four guys, and they're all in different face paint. They're all in these kooky, wacky. They looked like super comic book characters.
Right.
And I was like, who this? And so my
Hello.
We might have
We
lost the boat again.
All right. Well, the Rockstar was mid thought there, so we'll see if we can get him back shortly. So in the meantime, so Sean, tell me.
Nice. That's smart. Love what you did
Listen,
there.
yeah. All right. So we're talking Rockstar. We're talking music. So let's chat a little music till we see if we can get the Rockstar back. So what kind of music is like your go? Like he's metal and hair bands, that kind of stuff. So like, what would you say is your go-to music?
I don't necessarily have like a specific genre. I just like I kind of say I love everything except country. Like I'll pretty much listen to anything, but like country's the one thing I've tried. I've given it many fair chances. My whole family listens to it, so I have to kind of listen to it while I'm at their house. But like I can't do it. I like it like we talked about before. Like it's kind of all the same after a while. Like there's nothing new brought up in a country song that's like not that you haven't heard before, just in a different rearrangement.
Sure.
But to his thought, I was going to tell him, I saw Kiss live back in 2010 at the PNC Bank Arts Center with my brothers. And it really was one of the coolest concerts that you can see because they have the whole stage set up. They have a whole big intro and like it was just a really cool rock concert to see. So like, that was a really cool one to like rock onto. So.
All right. Well, I think we've got the Rockstar back. Let's bring him back in.
Yeah, hey! Here we go. I lost you guys again.
That's all right, man. We'll get there.
So going back, when I was first introduced to Kiss, like I said, I was listening to some of my dad's music, and again, I see, these 4 comic book character looking guys. I was like, man, who is that? And they're like, okay, well, here's Kiss. So like, I've watched the movies, I read the comic books. I'm like, these guys are almost like wrestling. Like if you really dive into Kiss, like when Kiss came out, they were like kayfabe. They were not allowed to go anywhere without the makeup.
Right.
Like anywhere.
Yeah.
Like they had to sleep in the make. Like pretty much every day they had to be in the face paint. Like everywhere. And like like going back with wrestling, like you had to live that character. They had to live Kiss. Like they had to.
Right.
And so like I was like, okay, so that's kind of big. And they were also the first kind of band that had their own like story, with that. If you watch their movie, they had the Talisman, and like when you watch that, it's like without these, we're nobody. Like we're just people, So like, and then you read the comment, and I'm like, these guys are superheroes playing rock and roll music. And then when you watch their concerts, like there's explosions after explosions. I mean, Gene Simmons is throwing up blood and fire, and people are. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, and it's great. And I was like, and when you even listen to their interview, like kind of what I was saying, like they wanted to be a band that nobody has ever seen before. Like with wrestling, you want to be something that nobody's ever seen before. So when you watch them, there was like, man, nobody was doing explosions back then, or having their drums raised up 50 feet in the air, or shooting fireworks at it. Like nobody was doing that. So I was like, man, this is the band I'd love to listen to and just go see. So for me, they were really ones that stuck out with me big time. And I've loved them since I was a little kid. I'll never forget, like in school when we did the Spirit Week, they were like, okay, dress up as your favorite whatever. And I would dress up as Kiss like all the time.
Nice.
And
I love
it's
it.
like they've always stuck with me. Like I have all their CDs. I have a closet full of all their T-shirts and all their memorabilia, like all sorts of Kiss stuff. Like that to me is probably one of the bands that, like, even with wrestling, started from very little and started to become something very big.
Absolutely.
Yeah. On a side note, I will say their Unplugged album was one of the best Unplugged shows that they did. It was so good, but they when they took the makeup off, they devastated people. Like lives were ruined when they took that makeup off.
Oh man, because my dad grew up in those kind of things, and I was like, hey Dad, can you kind of talk to me about what it was like when they took the makeup off? And he's like, oh, I could never forget. He was like, man, he was like when Lick It Up first came out, and we just see the waist down. We just see their boots. Like, okay, all right, let's into. And he was like, me and my buddies waited and we waited and we waited. Then we see all these ugly looking dudes without their makeup, and they're like, that's Kiss. He was like, oh no. He's like, they should have left it on. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah.
He was like, oh man. And not only that, but like to me, it also kind of killed the mystique of the band in a way, but
Sure.
also opened a lot of different because like they also like with everybody they had to change
Right.
like a lot of the people were like, oh man, the makeup's just not really doing it anymore, you guys got to mix it up, like you guys got to change, so they did it. I mean, was
Right.
it the biggest and greatest thing they did? Probably not to a lot of people, but they evolved like everyone else, and even
Yeah.
still to this day, uh, you can go back and listen to all the unmakeup years, and it's still just as good as the makeup years.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Now, speaking of rock music and rock songs, KOD and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath are both great names for finishers. So, do you sort of like
Oh
walk us
yes.
through how each one of those came together?
So, with the Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, that is probably one of my all-time favorite Black Sabbath albums, and just Black Sabbath songs, because it's just so like it starts very hard, then it goes very slow, and it goes back to just unrelenting like riffs. And even the cover for that, it looks very beautiful but also very haunting. And so like that kind of stuck with me, and I was like, okay, so what can I do, like what can I do as a combination to like, because you have Sabbath and then Bloody Sabbath. So like what can I do to make that kind of work? So like I do the Orton backbreaker into the Pepsi twist. So the Orton backbreaker will be your Sabbath. You raise up from the Sabbath, and then boom, there's your Bloody Sabbath. And then
Nice.
KOD, if I'm not mistaken, is also a song by it is a song by like a punk thrash band by the names of Stormtroopers of Death,
Oh,
and
nice.
they're very, yeah, I was about to say they're very unknown. Like if you guys don't know them, I probably wouldn't hate you guys because I didn't even know who they were.
Right.
So when I did the RKO, I was like, well, their face hits the ground, so they're kind of kissing the mat. So that's it for the count. 1, 2, 3, kiss of death. But yeah, I also like to use a lot of songs for my moves, to implement kind of just who I am.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, the next question is sponsored by our sponsors, Jersey Rebel Clothing, which we
Absolutely.
talked about a little earlier, and this one
Mhm.
is a good one. So,
Okay.
what is maybe one wrestling story that you've never told before?
Oh man,
Ooh.
see, that's kind of a hard one, but there's one uh, that a lot of people don't really know, that I thought was really cool. So there was one day, it was during Christmas or over Christmas, like years, I think 4 or 5 years ago. And every year down in Nashville, there's a show that happens at the Opry Mills at the hotel there, and they do like a football theme or something like that. And Crazy Steve was asked to do it, and he was like, "Hey man, I don't have a ride. Would you mind taking me?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah." And so I take him, and the superstars that I met in the back was just a wide range of different. Like I met Nick Aldis, I met
Oh,
James
wow.
Storm, I met like Jerry Lawler, like all these guys that were on television and still are on television, like back when they were still ranking up. And I was like, wow. And I'm not gonna lie, Nick Aldis is very tall for his
Yeah.
for
Hmm.
nobody that knows. Nick Aldis is huge. Like he's tall, like
Yeah.
he's almost like Undertaker huge.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
And that was and yeah, he's very tall. And that was one, I think, one of the cool, because he was like, "Hey, buddy, you can sit and watch the show." I was like, "Dude, I'm trying to learn from different.
Right.
Like, this is cool."
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "I'm sorry I couldn't get you to wrestle," and I was like, "Dude, even meeting these people was just wonderful. Like, it was just
Right.
Yeah.
wonderful to meet all these different people." Because I was like, first, I've never met any of these people, and like it'd be funny too. I'll be walking by, and I was like, "Did I just see who I think I saw?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's
Right.
exactly what you think." It's like, whoa! So to me, that was really cool. And then during that, I think it was after that show too. Either that one, and it's another Crazy Steve story. or we did a show together in Nashville, and he was like, "Man, I'm super hungry. We need to go get something to eat." And so I was like, "Okay, well, not a lot is open because this was like either right before COVID or after COVID." So I was
Right.
like, "Oh man, good luck trying to find something at like 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night." So we found a Burger King. He's like, "All right, let's go to Burger King." So we did, and again, this is going back to where I forget he's blind. So we're ordering, and I go, "Hey man, what do you want?" He's like, I can't see the menu. Can you tell me
Right.
what's on it?" So, I was like, "Oh man, there's this
Oh,
cheeseburger,
thanks.
there's that cheeseburger." So he hops over me, and his head is out the window, and he's screaming at the people what he's trying to order. I'm like, "Oh man, this is nuts." I was like, "Nobody's gonna believe this." So
Oh,
that's another one I could do. But those are ones I don't tell often, but those are probably my biggest ones. Other than that, like I don't have all these crazy like, we got pulled over for like none of those. Like, I
Right.
have none of those. Which probably would be really cool stories
Right.
too, but and then another one I don't tell as often is I did a show in Florida when I was with Ricky Morton's school, the school Morton, and we brought guys like Bobby Eaton, Manny Fernandez, the Barbarian. And what was really cool is after we kind of touched base in Florida and everybody got, where we were at, Bobby Eaton came to me and quite a few people was like, "Hey man, do you guys want to go eat dinner with us?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I sat with Bobby Eaton and I ate with Bobby Eaton and
That's
just picked his
awesome.
brain and learned
uh,
from Bobby. And not only that, but then I sat in the lobby and had a few drinks with Manny Fernandez and
That's
learned with
awesome.
Manny Fernandez.
nice.
And like these are things that like nobody can say they've done. And at
Right.
an
Mm.
age of 20 or 21 years old, here I am in a hotel lobby and in a restaurant eating with legends like Bobby Eaton and Manny Fernandez. So those are probably my top three biggest ones I've probably hardly ever told anybody or that really stick with me in my career.
Very cool.
Those are incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good stories.
Yeah.
Now, you've worked a long list of promotions over the years. Is there maybe one that
Right.
stands out as the place that made you a better wrestler?
Oh man, that's a tough one. One that I feel like I wouldn't say made me a better wrestler, but really helped me understand like crowd, like a lot of the crowd work and like how a lot of things
Mm.
really is Pennsylvania. So when I went to
Okay.
Pennsylvania, they are a mix of everything, like
Mm-hmm.
from old school to like hard hitting. Like
Yep.
they are a crowd that reacts to everything.
Yep.
And even if they don't know who you are, if they know you're wrestling the biggest baby face in that place, like they're gonna boo the crap out. And that's what I like. Like they don't have to know who you are. If they're not buying it, dude, they're gonna let you know. And
Yeah.
to
Mm-hmm.
me, that kind of really, for those that don't really know, I'm very, I wouldn't say shy, but I'm not really like a very public person. So like
Hmm.
really for me, that brought me out of my shell so much because like all the other ones, they like anywhere else you go, they only want one style. It's either new stuff or old school, and if you don't do one or the other, they're very quiet. So it's like okay, and those are the really ones that like no matter how hard you try, they're just gonna stay where they're at. But when you go to Pennsylvania, it doesn't matter what you do, they are tearing you up from wherever. And that to me that really to me brought me out of my shell probably more than anywhere else because they are very cutthroat people
Yeah.
and that but and in a way that's a
Yes,
good
we
thing
are.
in a way that's a good thing because like yeah, and like, but in a way, that's a good thing because like if they know that you're nervous and they're gonna call you out on it,
Mhm.
and that to me is like what I feel like is missing in a lot of wrestling. Like you always have people that are used to your who they have or whatever. Whereas Pennsylvania, like I said, if they don't even know who you are, if you're wrestling a baby, they're gonna boo the crap out of you. And
Yep.
that's something
Mhm.
that I really enjoy. Like no matter who or what you are, they're either gonna cheer you or boo you. And if you mess up, they're gonna let you know.
Yeah.
And they I'm telling you, I've never met a crowd that has reacted to everything like everything but
Mhm.
that's great because you want to keep them engaged where
Right.
anywhere around here or even places like Georgia or Virginia, like it's so hard to keep them engaged because they're so used to old school wrestling. And even when you give them old
Yeah.
school wrestling, if you're not these big names, it's like they're just like, okay, who cares? Where
Right.
like if I go to like places like Pennsylvania or another place, Wisconsin, I wrestled in Wisconsin and
Hmm.
they're
Wow.
lively. They were very lively,
There you go.
and they're we so when I did that one, it was for a convention. It was I think I would like to believe it was an anime convention, and there were like 2,000 people in this giant room, and
Wow.
95% of that crowd, 95% of that crowd has never watched wrestling in their life. And so when we showed them,
Hmm.
they're like, "Dude, this is cooler than I thought it was gonna be." And they were
Absolutely.
the same way. They ate everything up. And so like to me, when even when it's people that don't know what wrestling is and they see it, it's like, wow, this is really cool. That's also cooler to me than going to some that's like, oh, we like the new stuff or oh, we like the old stuff, and if you don't do one or the other, we don't like you. So
Hmm.
maybe like besides even Pennsylvania, just anywhere up north is one of the best places to wrestle because they're so like driven and into it, and that's hard to find these days. People that
Right.
are very invested into what you do. Um, because it's either like I was saying, new or old school, or if you're not WWE, it's like they don't really, you know what I mean. So
Right.
that's very hard to find a very set place that's like, wow, we really like all of it, and that's very difficult. So like going up north, like Pennsylvania, that was probably one of the biggest ones for me that really got me to feel like, well, this is it. Like if I can do it in Pennsylvania, I should go anywhere and can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, well, and on the flip side, we
Mhm.
may boo you, but if Pennsylvania gets behind you, man, they'll follow you right to the bitter
Oh,
end. Like if they're
they
gonna
do.
support you, they're gonna support you. But I
And
mean,
they
we
do.
oh yeah, we did throw snowballs at Santa, so that should have told you everything you need to know.
Right.
But talking about different styles, different match types, things
Right.
like that. Is there maybe a style or a match type that you had to work the hardest to feel comfortable in?
Oh man. One that I have to say that is very hard for me to understand, and it's not so much that it's hard to do, well, not even that it's hard to do, but really hard to kind of, there's two of them, and it's
Mm-hmm.
lucha libre and Japanese
Mm.
wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Those are
Yep.
very like, it's not that I don't hate Japanese wrestling because I'll watch it with Steve every now and then,
Right.
and I tell him it's like it's not that I don't like it, but I'm a person that likes crowd engagement, and when I watch it and it's quiet, and they kind of do
Right.
all the same things, and they're very, I'm like, to me this is just boring. So like when they like the hard hitting stuff, and when you do hard hitting stuff, and they do what I call the tennis clap, they're just like, oh yeah,
Oh
cool.
yeah,
It's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
well,
they're
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
yeah.
reserved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so like when I get stuff like that, I was like, so how do you do anything and that's all you
Right.
get? They're like they're
Yeah.
on pins and needles. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of, and like the lucha, I had to learn a little bit like working with your right instead of your left, and it's
Right.
very alien. It's very alien. And it's very, but it's also cool in a way because you can do a lot with lucha libre, but if you don't really know it and kind of know your history with lucha, it's very hard to understand and it's very difficult
Right.
to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But those are probably
Wow.
my two that are very hard for me to understand is Japanese wrestling and lucha libre.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, we sort
Mhm.
of touched on it earlier, but now we can ask you fully.
Yeah.
What maybe, in your opinion, do you feel is missing from the wrestling scene, whether it be on the indie scene or mainstream pro wrestling?
So going back to what we had talked about and like what Ricky teaches or like a lot of these new guys teaches that I feel in my opinion is missing in either indie wrestling or even mainstream wrestling today, selling and storytelling and crowd engagement.
Mm.
To
Mm-hmm.
me, you see all these guys take all these crazy moves and all these crazy stuff and they're kicking out at two or blah 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 or whatever, and then they give their opponent one that they've been hit with like 80 times, and then they finally beat them with that one move. I was like, so how did that really, not only that, but just even with selling, like people are always like, when I say the words don't die, like we're not saying you can't sit there and sell it, but don't get right back up either. And I'll see people take like the gnarliest things and they're right back up and go. I was like, no, you
Right.
no. And also too, what I say with crowd engagement, like when a heel is telling somebody, a fan, to like, hey, shut up or sit down or f you, whatever they're doing, it's like nobody does that anymore. Like, you know,
Right.
I'll go to indie show or anything, and I don't see any, like, they just really talk among themselves, or it's just they
Mhm.
do the moves and that's how they get their reactions. And to me, I'm like, okay, but if I'm here, if the people pay to see me, I really look at it as, what am I going to do that people are going to remember? And if I tell a fan to shut up, they're going to remember that. Hey, you
Right.
told me to shut up 3 counties ago, 3 counties down.
Right.
You told me I
Right.
was a fat
Mhm.
slob. That's what they're going to remember.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
and,
always
and,
my
and
favorite part
so
when
that, yo,
that's
go
always
ahead.
my favorite part when somebody calls me a fat slob. I love it.
Right. See, yeah, people love it. People love, but
Yeah.
like, that's the thing that I feel like is, because when I watch and people are just doing the moves and they're just doing it and just doing it, and everybody's quiet, or they do the Japanese tennis clap. I'm like, see, to me, that's not what I feel like. I mean, again, we all have our different flavors, but to me, I don't feel engaged when I just see, match one do the same thing, and the same thing, and that's another thing too. I feel like is missing, is knowing your placement in the card. Like, that's a big thing.
Right.
Crazy Steve has taught, is like, know your, like, your first few matches should be just basic wrestling. And like when you go to any show, you watch WWE now, every match they're fighting outside, they're hitting each other with tables
Right.
and chairs and this and that. And I'm like, we've already seen it. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
your first few should be like, I know it's boring, but your first few matches should be basic. You can keep it entertaining, but like, keep it basic. And then when you build to like match 4 or 5, okay, here comes a finisher. Oh, here comes a false here. Here comes a. But like now, when you go to any, everybody's diving, everybody's throwing super kicks, everybody's doing this, and everybody's doing the same thing, and it kind of doesn't stand out when like you're watching it, and it's like, okay, well, I've seen this guy throw 8,000 side kicks or did 12
Right.
German suplex, like we've already
Mhm.
seen it. So like, to me, it's like storytelling, knowing your placement, and crowd engagement, and all those things are really what I feel is missing in professional wrestling, that made it professional wrestling, made it feel real, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
Like when you watch it now, we all, like, everybody knows that it's more entertainment than it is wrestling.
Right.
But like when you go back and you watch it, it looked like people were really angry with each other. People were
Right.
really wanting to kill. Like, that's what I feel like is missing in wrestling. Like, it's our job to make people second guess. Like, wow, like,
Mhm.
I'll never forget when I wrestled Steve, and one of the people that I helped train, they were like, I was there and I watched it. It seems like you really hate Steve. I was like, but that's the point.
Right.
I want people to I
Yeah.
want people to think, like, if I'm in the ring with somebody and I'm a bad guy, I hate this guy. I don't like
Right.
him. That's what I'm here
Yeah.
for. I
Mhm.
don't want, like, I'm not one of, and another thing that kind of kills that is when they go in the back, and I've seen this 1,000 times, where they go in the back and it's, well, I had a great match with this guy, and they're posting all. I was like, no, you're killing
Right.
the aspect. Like,
Yeah.
that's a big thing that everybody teaches, is like, we want people to second guess what we're doing. So, when I
Yeah.
go in there and I'm a bad guy, I want people to hate me. I want people to
Right.
think I'm the biggest villain since whoever. Like, I want people
Right.
to go out and slice. Like, that's what I want. That's how
Mhm.
you're doing and people are just going, like, an occasional you get shut up, or it's occasional. Like me, like I said, is the second I'm walking out of that Kurt, I'm talking. And you can't get me to shut up. And that's what I feel. I'm not saying you don't always have to do that, but like, engage with the people that come to see you,
Mhm.
and even like, with selling, like I say, I'll see people take the gnarliest and they're right back up and doing stuff. I'm like, no, just
Yeah.
it also kills what we're doing,
Right.
and storytelling, like, people are like, well, how do we tell stories in 5 minutes or 3 minutes? I said, it's not that hard. It's really not that
Right.
hard. Like, if you're trying to get, your baby face or your heel over, you get them somebody to beat up, tell your story in that time. You can do it.
Mhm.
Anybody can do it. And I just really feel like that's what, because everybody, we use the term, they're really there to pop the boys. Like, we're always,
Right.
like, everybody's really
Mhm.
just there to get everybody in the back, like, wow, dude, that was really cool. I'm not there for that. Like, and I'm not saying I don't like to make friends, but I'm not there for that. I'm there for people to come back and be like, hey, we want to see Alex lose to this guy, or we want to see Alex beat this guy. Like,
Mhm.
that's what I want them to see. And I feel like that even mainstream, like, even when you watch WWE or AEW, it's like there's no payoff to what we're doing. And that to me
Right.
is what I feel like is really missing in wrestling. Those
A-
big things.
And to just add to that real quick, because while we're on the subject,
Yeah.
there is one thing that I can agree on is that there's no protection to finishes anymore.
No.
Like every finisher
Absolutely not.
has, like there's no. It used to be one finisher, you're done. Now it takes 3, 4, 5 finishers to get one person
Right.
down.
So going to that, when I was at Tom's, he was like, okay, we see a lot of days like, okay, how many Stone Cold Stunners does it take to beat somebody, or how many
Right,
RKO's does it take? And everybody's he was like, see, back then your finisher was your finish. That's why it was called
right,
a finisher. You finished your opponent. He's like, now, if it was a championship match, okay, maybe you can get, because you're a champion, so you're not going to go down easy. So he's like,
right,
okay, we can understand, a Harley race. Do you think one Tombstone Power Driver is going to beat him? It'll get him groggy the first time, but he's going to kick out because he's a
right,
champion. So like when it's a championship match, okay, we can see that. But when it's your first match and you're hitting spears and you're kicking out of every finisher known to mankind, like why do you even call it a finisher? Why do you even call it your finishing move? Because it's not protected anymore. Like they say the only protected move nowadays is the one wing and angel, and that's it. That's one move out of a
right,
bazillion. That's it. One move out of
right,
everybody's one. And I was like, that shouldn't be the case. Everybody's finishing should
Yeah.
be, unless you're building up to that. That's what I'm saying. And somebody kicks out, you have that wow factor. But
right,
when everybody's doing it, there's no wow factor anymore. And that's another
Yeah.
thing too, I feel. So, when I teach the new guys, I can't tell you anybody that's in the ring that's not doing backflips and 450 frog, like everybody's, and I'm just like, see, I look at him and I was like, I'm not saying you can't do that, but everybody's doing it. So why do what everybody else is doing? Because there's no wow
right,
factor in it anymore. Everybody can do it. Guys that are 800 pounds can do it now. That's what I'm saying. Everybody can do it. So to me, there's no wow factor in a lot of, everybody's like, well, we're trying to make the super kick relevant again. Well, how are you going to make it relevant when everybody's doing it?
right,
So to me, when everybody's just doing the same, like there's no wow factor, there's no aura around what we do much anymore. When like you were saying, everybody kicks out of an RKO 3 or 4 times, but then when Seth Rollins hits him with the curb stop once, that's it. You
right.
know, it to me, stuff like that just doesn't draw me in. You know what I mean?
Sure. So, going from what you do when you come out of the curtain to what you do behind the curtain, this is always an interesting question. I love the
Right.
answers we get. Do you have any pre-match rituals or superstitions?
Oh man. See, I always feel like this has happened to a lot of people before. Like, I had a buddy of mine that would tell me, he was like, I always put my right boot on before my left boot because if I
Yep,
do it, something's gonna happen.
Oh
yep.
Yeah.
no,
So
yeah.
like I always do that. Like if I don't put one boot on before the other, I always feel like, oh man, I'm gonna get hurt. So
Oh
like I
no.
always make sure I'm always making sure I'm doing something right first, because there are those things, like if you don't do whatever part of
Mhm.
your routine, something will happen. So, and then also too, like you always have those because you never know what's going to happen beyond that curtain. Like somebody could have
Mhm.
a rough day. So there's always superstition. There's always something. But man, I'm always sitting. I'll always listen to music. I always get myself hyped up and I always get myself ready. That's really mine. I don't really have like a big giant ritual or much like that. I just do what I have to. I just sit, listen to music, and when it's my time to
Mhm.
go, I go.
Heck yeah.
Very
Heck
cool.
yeah.
All right. Well, that is going to bring us to our final question of the interview. This is always Sean's
Sweet.
favorite part of the episode. So, Sean, why don't you take it away?
This is another recurring segment that we love because, again, the answers are always different, and it's always really interesting to see just how deep the love of wrestling goes. So, for you,
Right.
Alex Monroe, what does pro wrestling mean to you, and what is the significance that it has had on your life?
So pro wrestling is an art style. You have all these different blends, different cultures, different aspects, different characters, different everybody, and it's one place we can all bring that in together where there's no segregation of any of it. It's all welcomed. Like, yeah, it may not be everybody's favorite, but somebody has a heart for it. And to me, that's a big thing I really like about professional wrestling. Like when I trained with Ricky, he was like, dude, I don't care if you're blue, yellow, black, white, red. He's like, as long as you're in here and you're performing and you're doing what you love to do, who cares? You
Right.
know, like you can be the wackiest character, you can be the dullest character, you can be this, you can be that. As long as somebody reacts to you, that's it. And that to me is something I really enjoy. There's no segregation, there's no culture fight, there's like everything is all mixed with you get everything. And to me that's art. That's something that like you don't see anywhere else. You know, and not only is it art, it's also ultimate, like we've discussed throughout this thing, it's ultimate storytelling. Like it's the biggest hero versus bad guy. It's almost like, you know, your comic book characters or your favorite movie characters come to life. You
Right.
know, like like you always remember seeing, oh, Luke and Darth Vader, this is it. Well, there was Stone Cold and Vince McMahon, you
Yep.
know, or there's John Cena and The Rock. Like these are your biggest, or that would be like Batman versus Superman. Like it all
Right.
ties into pop culture. You know, this is like your favorite movie characters and your favorite book characters come to life. And and not only that, but you also engage with these people. Like you can also, like, whatever character is in professional, like even Rey Mysterio, people can be like, wow, I can
Yeah.
relate to Rey Mysterio. You know, I'm small and I get beat up all the time, but I still do, you know, like you can always relate something from somebody. And that's a big thing that I feel with professional wrestling that makes it professional wrestling. Anybody can come to it and, you know, they may not like it at first, but when they walk out, it's like, wow, that was something different. That's something
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen before. That's something I can really get into. And to me, that's one of the biggest pleasures and the biggest reward in professional. It's not if I make it or how, it's how people perceive what I do. You know, I always tell people, like, if it's quiet, I don't feel like I did my job. And when people
Right.
are coming out and they're like, hey man, we like how you did this, or that's rewarding to me more than anything in the world. And that's what I like about professional wrestling.
Absolutely.
Very cool. And I can relate with the whole Rey Mysterio thing. You know, I'm also secretly a general manager of a Mexican wrestling promotion, so
Yeah,
I
there you
relate
go.
I relate to him very well. All
There
right,
you
well, incredible interview, getting to learn a little bit about
Yeah.
Alex Monroe, your thoughts on wrestling, which I think you are so straight on with a lot of these things that are they're missing in professional wrestling. Just things for people to think about. But now it is time for the top 5 list. And Sean, tell us one more time, what are we talking about?
We are excited. We're talking top 5 cheap foods. And man, being that I had my pulled tooth last Monday, I haven't been able to eat much. So I'm excited to hear what your cheap foods are to make me feel a little bit better about myself.
I'm a little concerned because I have a feeling that like your top 5 cheat foods are going to be like staples of my normal diet. So I'm a little concerned.
No, it's also great to have your favorite cheat foods because, like, you know, as a wrestler, you're always on a consistent schedule, like working
Right.
out, eating the same foods, and it kind of gets boring after a little while. So
Right.
you always want to like indulge in yourself. So like for me, these are really not only my favorite cheat foods, but they're also like my comfort foods.
Nice.
So going down the list, should I start with number 1 to 5, or should
Number
I count
5.
from 5 to 1?
Yeah,
Okay.
5 to 1.
Count down from 5 to 1.
Okay, so I feel like my number 5 would probably be on anybody's list is a good pizza. I really like pizza.
Oh
Yeah, like I'll always,
Yeah.
like if it's always like a watch party or it's always something, I was like, man, let's just get a good pizza and just watch whatever we're doing. Like, and it's
absolutely.
great for everything. Get-togethers, like watch parties, any party, like anything. Like pizza is just
When you're
biggest
watching a
stuff.
sad movie, crying while eating
Right,
pizza, it's
right.
great.
Yeah,
It's the best.
everybody eats ice cream. No, I'm eating pizza.
Give me
I'm
pizza.
eating pizza.
Now, are you a plain pie guy, or do you like have different toppings on it?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh man, I throw all sorts of toppings.
Nice.
Like,
Okay.
man,
yeah.
like I'm everything. Like I'll do pepperoni, I'll do the supreme, I'll do 3 meats, I'll do. Now I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I do like pineapple and ham on my
Okay.
pizza. Everybody can fight me. I don't care. It's good.
Well,
like, man,
I guess. Well, that's it. This interview's over. Here, we'll just put this back up.
Canceled. Yes.
He's like, all
Sorry.
right, well, that was fun.
I had,
But man,
yeah,
all,
you lost
all
me there.
sorts, like, yeah, no, like macaroni pizza, buffalo chicken, like you name it. Like,
Oh, there's a place called Cece's Pizza. Are you aware of this
yes,
place?
yes. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Yes.
Cece's Pizza makes the macaroni and cheese pizza, and
I know. It's my
they don't
favorite
put it
pizza
out.
in the world.
Oh, they don't put it out
Not
on the
anymore.
like regularly, but if you ask them, they make
No.
it for you, and they'll just
Oh,
get
yes.
like when you go there, they'll just give you the whole pie because your table's probably gonna smash it
Yes.
up. But oh man, that is so good.
I do that. Like when I go to CC's, that's the biggest one I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like, what was the last one they did? One of the last ones they did was like a spaghetti pizza. I was like, no, I want my
Oof.
macaroni pizza. Like that.
Yeah.
That's my jam. Like
Now,
I will throw down on some macaroni pizza.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I had something the other day that like changed my world. It blew my mind. I had a stuffed crust pizza, and not only was there cheese in the pizza, there was bacon in the stuffed crust.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a revelation.
Yeah. Yeah. See, a lot of people don't eat the crust. I'm like, man, that's the best part of the pizza.
It's the best part of the pizza.
Now,
That's
another thing that another thing that people don't really like or hit or miss on this. I'm more of a cold pizza kind of guy.
Oh, really?
Like I'll put it in the fridge. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. Like when people are like, well, why do you eat it cold? I was like, see, when you refrigerate it and you eat it, I was like, you taste every ingredient.
Right.
And I was like, oh, it just hits different. Like it just cold pizza is just where it's at.
We
that's
have
my number 5. That's my number 5.
We have a company here. There's a company called Nardone Brothers, Nardone. You can look them up online.
Okay.
And they sell square pizzas. It's like 6 pieces, and I think their box has like 2 layers to it. But it is made to specifically be eaten cold, and it is phenomenal. It is really good.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. I tell people.
There's one that surprised me, and it was made out of Hawaiian bread crust.
Oh wow!
So interesting.
That's interesting.
Really,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So they made the crust out of Hawaiian bread, and I was like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
I've become a fan of cauliflower crust pizza. Like I didn't think I'd be into that. And yeah, somebody gave it to me one time, and I was like, wow, I cannot believe how good this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a it's a restaurant, not really a restaurant, but it's where you can get your foods at. It's called Clean Eats, and it's where a lot of wrestlers get their meals from, and they do the cauliflower crust pizza, and it's really you can't tell the difference.
Okay.
Now, is it thinner? Is it thinner crusted? Yes, but you still can't tell the difference. It's so good.
Right.
It's really good.
So we could talk about this all day because pizza is my love language.
Let's go to number 4.
Yeah. Let's go to number 4. We'll be here all night.
Oh man, if I had to narrow it down to number 4, I think number 4 I would say is probably a really good like bacon cheeseburger.
Ooh,
I'm really good on bacon cheeseburgers.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, like man, you slap all the toppings on there and 80 strips of bacon.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Like bacon cheeseburgers are probably one of my number 4 favorite foods of all time. Those are ones that like when we do cookouts or something like that, that's all I ever request. Is I'm like, man, just give me a good bacon cheeseburger. Give me like 2 or 3 patties with cheese in the middle and like slabs of bacon all of it. I'm a huge bacon cheeseburger guy.
Now, are you a fan of like smash burgers?
To put for number 4. Yes and no. That kind of depends on my mood, but yeah, like any bacon, like anywhere you go that has bacon cheeseburgers. Like I also like from Wendy's Baconators to like, oh man, like like even Burger King's Bacon King or something. Oh, those are like some of my favorite cheeseburgers.
I had Burger King yesterday, and I had the rodeo burger, which is a bacon cheeseburger with the onion rings on top and then the barbecue sauce on top. Yeah, just incredible. And you mentioned Wendy's bacon. They at Walmart, they sell the cans of Wendy's chili. Now it's ridiculously expensive. It's like $5 for a can, but at Walmart, I have seen, and I haven't tried it yet, but they have a Baconator chili.
Ooh.
Okay,
I'm like,
yeah.
That's on the must try list.
Yeah, yes, it is. But yeah, man, bacon cheeseburgers are probably my number 4. Oh man, now you're
Amazing.
making me hungry for one.
Oh man,
Love it.
amazing.
Number
All right,
3.
number 3.
All right. So number 3, I would. This is one of my favorite kind of get down foods of all time. I'm number 3 would have to be barbecue food, like
Oh
anything barbecue.
yeah. Oh yeah.
From like barbecue ribs to pulled
Yep.
pork to
Yep.
oh man, I will throw down on some barbecue.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
that has always probably been like, if not one of my top favorite like meals period of all time is
Mm.
barbecue food. Like even on like when we go grilling or any that it's always barbecued, always.
Mm.
Now,
Now do I have a preference of barbecue sauce? Yes and
Ooh,
no.
that's a tough one.
I'm a really big fan. I'm a really big fan of the Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce. That's probably one of
Oh
my
ooh,
yeah.
favorites.
Yep. Mhm.
Yes, really
We've had
good.
that.
But
Yeah.
we always keep it simple and keep it like Sweet Baby Ray's
Oh
nice.
barbecue.
yeah.
Also
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, yeah. But man, like, oh, barbecue is just like, even when I go to like, we don't have them here anymore. We have to drive to Kentucky for it. But like Sonny's barbecue, oh,
Mm.
it's so good,
I don't
so
remember
good.
what the
Like, and
place was
that's just.
called,
Mm,
but when we had some shows during Mania Weekend a couple years ago, Ralph and I, there was
mm,
a place next
yep.
door to the venue that had a brisket cheesesteak, and
Yeah.
it was one
Oh.
of the best
See.
cheesesteaks I think we and Ralph have ever had.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Something about
See, now you're
the
skipping
meat.
ahead. Now you're skipping ahead because cheesesteaks are my number 2.
Nice,
Oh,
Oh
nice,
nice. Oh
perfect,
boy.
perfect.
yeah. Yes. Yeah. So like anywhere, any restaurant that has a Philly cheesesteak on it, I'm like, please, I want a Philly cheesesteak. I had so speaking of one where you're talking about brisket, I went to one. We have a place here in Tennessee. It's called Gatlinburg, where
Okay.
Dolly Parton is from, and they have a restaurant. I don't
Mm.
remember the name of the restaurant, but my dad took me to one of these restaurants up there, and instead of steak meat, they used ham instead, like pork
Ooh,
meat. I was like, oh,
Interesting.
okay.
it's so good. I thought I wouldn't like it, and I was like, oh man, I don't know. He's like, dude, you got to try it. So it's one of my favorite Philly cheesesteaks. It's so good. And yes, I do all the toppings from cheese to melted onions to like I do it all, man. Philly
Love it.
cheesesteaks are
Mm.
my number 2 favorite
Number
food of
2.
all time.
Yeah.
Anywhere that has, yeah, sorry, my bad. Number 2, like anywhere that has a Philly
Mhm.
cheesesteak, that is the first thing I'm buying.
That's incredible. So we're gonna shout out Deke's Barbecue
There we
in
go.
Germantown,
Deeks.
Philly.
Yeah,
They're the ones that do
yes.
the that cheesesteak that we had, which was amazing.
Mhm.
I've had I had a really good cheesesteak one time at the Hotel Bethlehem in Pennsylvania. They made like
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
I ended up there for lunch one day, oddly enough, and it's a ridiculously expensive cheesesteak, but it's got like prime rib
Mhm.
on it, and I mean it was just their own sauce, incredible. But and Sean, you will know about this because we just recently did this. We were
Right.
covering we were doing interviews at a GCW show when they did the ECW arena. So
Yep.
we stopped for lunch ahead of time at John's Roast Pork
Yes.
in Philadelphia.
Yes.
It's down by the Navy Yard, and it's their roast pork sandwich is honestly the best kept secret in Philly. But their cheesesteak
Right.
is, man, I
To
will
die
put
for.
any cheesesteak up against that one. If you go to Philly, everybody goes to like Geno's or Pat's. And
Right.
if you live in
Yep. I've been to
Philly,
Pat's. Yep.
and if you live in Philly, they'll tell you, well, those are the places for the tourists.
Right.
This is where you
Yep.
really need to go, and they'll give you somewhere
Yeah,
else.
right,
But
okay.
John's Roast Pork, their cheesesteak is phenomenal. Two thumbs up.
Okay. Awesome. So if I ever go back to Philadelphia, that's where I'm going.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Listen, you
There you go.
let us
Yeah.
know if you're coming to Philly. We'll come down and have cheesesteaks with you.
There you go.
There you go.
Ah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. We're losing.
you
Oh,
went
no.
dark again. It's
Wait,
all right.
we-
We still can see it sort of with the graphic.
Yeah.
on the
Yeah, it's
screen.
okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Now, so for my number 1, this really surprises a lot. This really surprises a lot of people, but because it's not really a big food meal, but it's one that I've eaten all my life. It's something I always enjoy. My number 1 will have to be mac and cheese. Mac and cheese.
Ooh,
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah, like mac and
Perfect.
cheese is like my all-time favorite food of all time. Like when
Mhm.
I'm always want to cheat or something, and they're like, "Hey, what do
Mhm.
you want?" I was like, "Man, I don't care what we want, just as long as we have a good mac and cheese, like just a
Mhm.
good solid. And I don't care what you put it. You could put bacon bits in it. I
Yep.
don't care. Like there's a lot of people that put like diced broccoli in it. You can put
Yeah.
anything. You can put anything in macaroni. I'm like, man, I will throw down on some mac and cheese. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to be my number one of all. Like I've always eaten mac and cheese with like everything since I was a kid. Like everything.
Love it.
Any cheat meal, mac and cheese is like up there. Um, that and now this is an honorable mention. This is an
Hey,
Oh,
love
honorable
okay.
that.
mention. I know
All
we
right.
have to. Yeah,
Yep.
I know we have top five, but an honorable mention, and it's only during Thanksgiving time. Is sweet potato casserole. Man,
Ooh.
I love
Ooh,
me.
Oh
I love me
yeah.
okay.
some sweet potato. Now, I'm one of those guys that does not put
Mm.
the cashew or the almonds on it. I just like my straight marshmallows and
Right.
and
Right.
Okay.
sweet
All
potatoes, and
right.
that's it for me. Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Mm.
Yeah, I make an incredible mac and cheese. I do a crock pot mac and cheese, and I make
Nice.
the
There
cheese
you
sauce
go.
first. Now I
Mm-hmm.
have a number of cheeses I put in there, and I can't divulge them all, but I
Right.
will give you the one that really sets it apart, the one that most people will say, it is an award-winning mac and cheese, by the way. It has won an award, but
Right.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
the one cheese that people are like, wow, what is that flavor? And they pick it out, smoked Gouda.
Aha.
That is
Yes. Oh
that is
yes.
my that is
Yes.
my secret ingredient for mac and cheese. It puts it
Yes.
right over the top.
I think that's probably my favorite mac and cheese is smoked Gouda mac and cheese. It
Oh
There
is
you
so
go.
good.
yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
With
Oh
with
man.
like bacon bits inside it.
Yep.
Oh, it's so
Oh
good.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
amazing.
man,
Sean,
now
do
you guys are
you
making me hungry for some mac and cheese.
listen? I
Listen.
Man, it's yeah, true. Sean, do you have like a favorite kind of cheat food or something that like is like number one on your list? Let's say if you were going to the chair and you had one meal left.
One meal left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh man. Um, I've see
it's
that
hard. I know.
it's hard to pick one, but if I had to do like a quick top three in no particular order,
Ooh.
um, uh, one a little fancy is an Italian dish called chicken franchise. It's one of my favorite
Okay.
dishes of all
All
time,
right.
preferably over
Okay.
fettuccine.
Mm-hmm.
Another one would be
Mhm.
birria tacos with the consomme.
Okay.
So freaking good.
Okay.
And just if this is probably like a day of like breakfast, lunch, dinner. So like if that was dinner and lunch, breakfast would be just a classic bagel with cream cheese toasted. Like just skip.
Oh.
Just
Okay.
sometimes
There
just a
you go.
classic
Yeah. Now
bagel
what kind of
just does the trick.
oh classic? Okay.
Egg
Oh
I'm
bagel.
yeah.
more of the
Egg
everything
bagel always.
Yeah.
Egg bagels.
I
Yeah.
love a good egg bagel. Yes.
Yeah.
I
I
do everything bagel. Mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
listen, we
that
just
too.
had
That too.
we have stores up here called Aldi,
Yep.
and
Same.
Yeah, we have all these
they
here. Yep.
oh nice they so we got a loaf of everything bagel sourdough bread the other day,
Oh yeah.
and man, it was incredible. We used it to make mac and cheese, or not mac grilled
Mhm.
cheese,
Yeah.
and
There
just
you go.
toasting it was, oh man, so good.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, if I had to go with something, and I've never thought about this before, but this is like seriously, and anytime, like if a go-to for any meal for me is a pizza burger and mozzarella sticks, like that,
Ooh.
that
Okay.
is just
Oh,
I
see,
could
man.
I could crush that all
Oh,
day
man.
long and 7 times on Sundays.
That is like one of my favorite appetizers
There you
is
go.
Ooh.
There
mozzarella
you go.
sticks. Oh man, I love me some mozzarella
Mm,
sticks.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we've made each other hungry, definitely an excellent top five. Definitely one that fits in well with us here because we
Yeah.
are so passionate about food here. Anytime somebody brings up food on this show, it becomes like it's a runaway train.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We could, you know what? That's what we should do. We should just have an episode and like bring a bunch of wrestlers on to just talk about food.
Talk about
Like
food.
that, it would be amazing. Like
That'd be
oh
awesome.
man, but yeah, that would great interview, great top five. We definitely appreciate you for joining us today. It was a lot of fun. We were happy to have you on the
Yeah.
show.
Oh man, this was such a blast. This is probably one of the biggest fun I've ever had on a podcast at all. Like
I
this was
love
one
it.
of the funnest podcasts I've ever done.
That's
Man,
literally
you
the
guys are
best
really
thing we
down to
can hear.
earth. Yeah, you guys are very down to earth. You don't really ask hard hitting questions. You just ask you know, even with being a wrestler, it was always wrestling. It was always the same ones of who's your top 5 favorite wrestlers? Who do you want to get in the ring with? It's like, man, ask me about me. You know, not a lot of people. And that's what I like about you guys. You're like, who are you besides wrestling? Or what do
Yeah.
you bring outside that you bring inside? Like, that's really cool. That's a lot of questions nobody really asks. So I really applaud you guys for that. Thank you guys for that.
Well, thank you. You are, of course, welcome here anytime you want to come on. You just let us know, and we will chat it up with you. All right. Well, that is going to do it for this episode of the Opinion City Podcast. If you like what you're doing, check us out at opinion.citypodcast.com. Check out our Patreon. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube so you never miss an episode of the Opinion City Podcast. And that's going to do it for us here. For the Rockstar Alex Monroe, for Parmesan, I'm King Ralph. And remember, kindness is free, so be kind to each other. And we will see you next time.
That's Opinion City. New episodes live every Sunday on YouTube. And to our Patreon members, thank you for supporting independent wrestling media. We'll see you next time.